Hi, everybody. John Harris here with my pal Billy Smith. Bill, we're actually going to do this live together, or
Live
semi-live as we're
together.
filming at least. How about that?
Yeah, it's
We've
been a
been
while.
on assignment. Bill was down south and um, probably didn't get a chance much, but was in the area to cover New Orleans and Atlanta and the NFC South, which really should be called the NFC Yuck. It's
Yeah.
the winner might have an 500 record by the time they're done. I don't know. I think the leader in the clubhouse is 7-9 at the moment. So, well, yeah, they won't have if it's 7-9, they won't have a 500 record.
Yeah.
So, uh,
Yeah, they're bad.
it's just not a good division. Um, and we've both been fighting some stuff at the fight. But we're hanging in there. We're gonna do all right. So it's good. We're back. Um, what's the old saying, Bill? We're back and better than ever.
Better than ever.
Better than ever. Whereas Toby Keith said, I'm as good once as I ever was.
That was.
So we both got a win last night because oh, wait, there's another touchdown for the Raiders. The Raiders needed a calculator to figure up their score last night. Uh, so if you had over under 34.5, you won before halftime.
Yeah.
Congratulations. 63-21. The Chargers didn't even score till the second half, and I'm sure it's when the Raiders probably had some backup folks in there. Though Antonio Pierce, the interim head coach of the Raiders, who, if he hasn't played himself into coached himself into a job yet, something's wrong, because he's turned that team around.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, yeah, they had a bad game the week before and got shut out.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
team gets one bad game, and they were playing against a good defensive team.
But
But
if they were smart, they would be, he'd be cheap to sign, as a head coach. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
why go out there and spend big bucks if you don't have to?
Oh, yeah, if you don't have to, yeah. They ran over a team that they should have beat, and they did what they had to do, and then some. And even the games they've lost, their defense has played pretty well. They've been even the game they got shut out, they only lost it 3-0.
Yeah,
I
and that
mean,
was in the last 5 minutes of the game.
and that was in the last 5 minutes. You're right, a field goal. So I mean, they're in there with a backup quarterback, basically. Really, if you think about it, an undrafted, I think, third string quarterback or fourth rounder or something like that. And he's doing enough to win them games. And last night, he probably had the career night. I don't even want to go into his numbers because we could be here all day. But Vegas winning big, and it leads, of course, to the inevitable. I was surprised that they waited until morning to do it. But yes, the Chargers did fire Brendan Staley, their head coach, who was supposed to be a defensive guru, but their team ranks 28th out of 32 in the NFL for defense. Offense is actually in the top 10, but
Yeah.
defense, which is supposed to be his forte, is awful. And that's with
But
Joey Bosa,
yes,
and
if you let the Raiders score 63 on you, you don't you don't deserve to
it's
be
not,
there.
any
That's
team
embarrassing.
scores 63 on you. And
Sure,
you're right, the
sure.
Raiders aren't even that good in offense. Like we said, they scored nothing the week before. And then this week come out and crush was 63. I think it was 42-0 at halftime, if I'm not mistaken.
42-1.5. And that's when I shut it off.
Yeah, that was, I didn't have it on to sit here and stare at it, but I turned it on into the first quarter and saw 21-0. Kept it on while I was doing something else, and every something I hear, that poor Al Michaels, it's probably embedded in his brain today. Touchdown Raiders, touchdown Raiders, touchdown Raiders. Poor guy. And they're all touchdowns. 63 equals 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, nine
I mean,
touchdowns.
that's unbelievable. And that's without Josh Jacobs, their star running back.
Yep.
So that'll tell you. Guys had career years yesterday for Vegas. So I guess congratulations to him. As they would say on one of my favorite sports programs, pardon the interruption, on ESPN, Tony Kornheiser would say, uh, happy trails to Brendan Staley.
To you.
Happy trails to him. Yeah, He may catch on someday as a defensive coordinator, but that's about it. I can't see anybody, at least in the NFL, hiring him as a head coach, at least not for a while. He's young, so he could get back in the college game, which to me is now the way it's set up. It's almost like minor league NFL.
Yeah.
And he could get a job there someday in a couple of years and turn his reputation around, but be a lot of work. But get to the crux of it. Raiders win big. We both picked it. We both picked the over. We both picked them to beat the spread, which was 3.5. Boy, was that way off. So we got that. We'll go over last week's results real quick. We both did pretty well. Bill was, let me see. We both had 10 wins. And that is Pick'em. Bill struggled a little bit with the spread, but was still like, we both had a push. I can't remember which game it was. It's here somewhere. Tampa Bay, Carolina. Tampa Bay was favored by 3 and won by exactly 3. So, over under, we both finally reared our head above water. Bill had a good week on the over under, 10-3. Good job, pal. And 10-3 on picks. Looks like 5-7 against the odds. You struggled a little there, but you had a lead on me there. We're very close now. I had a good week against the odds, 10-2-1, my best week probably of the season. That's what's caught me up because Bill had a pretty good lead on me. But like always, it's getting later in the season. We're neck and neck. Like always. No matter who wins, in the end, it's a 1 or 2 game difference. It's strange. 2 different methods. So it really is your preference what you guys want to use. Bill does analytics, more numbers based, and some eye test. And I basically use just eye test, and in all honesty, whatever stats I hear, or I look at injuries and who's performed well, but it's basically eye test. So 2 different methods, and but they work for both of us. So, and the thing to remember is we're always going against Vegas odds, and we're still we're at 60% now. So, and we both were way below 50 for a while. So as the season goes on, Bill gets to see more realistic numbers because of how they perform during the season. And I get to see people and see players and see teams the further they go on to see who's a scrub and who's not. So we're both pretty well. Bill is at 61% now with his picks, 58.4%. 58.7%, I'm sorry, against the spread. Over under even, you've cracked the 50% mark, Bill. Finally, you're at 53.5%. Good job. And that came from nowhere. I'm right with Bill again, 61% with my total picks. 50. Bill still has me by a game or 2, I think. Well, let me look. No, we are both. I'm right with him at the same percentage. So we're right there. And I'm at 58% on the over under. So we are right there, buddy. 60%. We're in that range. We're there.
Very good.
So, and we already got a 1-0 head start.
There you go.
3 games on Saturday. We'll start with those first. Any news about them as we go, we'll let you know. First game, Minnesota versus Cincinnati. Minnesota has got Josh Dobbs as the 3rd stringer now. They're going to start Nick Mullins. There's a kid in between them, I think, a rookie. If Mullins doesn't, I want to say his last name is Allen. I'm not sure, but they're going to bring him in if they have to. Nick Mullins, the former Eagle backup for 3-4 years, hasn't had much playing experience either, so we'll wait and see what happens there. They're at Cincinnati's favored by, I have 3.5, and the over under is 40.5.
Yep. And Jefferson got hurt last week, and he's questionable. He said he'll be playing.
He says he'll be playing. The team is still saying he's questionable.
Yeah.
I took Cincinnati in the over across
And
the.
I did the same thing.
All right.
I like the quarterback Browning.
He looks good. I'll tell you.
He
I
looks
mean,
good.
he's not gonna be number one when Burrow's healthy, but he might
Right.
be playing himself into a job somewhere else if he's able to keep this going for any sustained length of time. Yeah, he could be a trade piece or something. Where Cincinnati may say, you know what, we're keeping him because the way
Yep.
Burrow plays and their offensive line still isn't great. So if he holds up, you might want a good backup quarterback at the reasonable price that they have him at under that
Mhm.
rookie contract. So good job by Cincinnati. Good job by Browning. He's doing great. Pittsburgh at Indy. Indy is picked by 1.5 over the Steelers. It's in Indianapolis, and it's a 42.5 over and under. I took Indy across the board. Even the over, I took that as well. That part might be risky.
Yeah,
Trubisky,
I took.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Trubisky, what?
Pickett's out. Trubisky's playing probably, I don't know if it's the rest of the season, but it might be. Um, but I don't think it's all his fault. Again, I think even though Matt Canada's gone, they're still doing short passes and they're not stretching the field. Um, and I think we've seen that Trubisky is no all pro, all star either. Pickett's probably a half a notch better, but with him being out, I just don't see it. I still like Gardner Minshew. I think he's doing the best he can do with what he's got. But Jonathan Taylor is out again, but they're going to go
Yes.
with Mac, who didn't look
Yeah.
bad last week either. And he was actually
No.
pretty good before Taylor beat him out. So,
And Pittsburgh's really looking bad.
yeah,
Even though they
defense
still
is
have a winning
okay.
record, they still have a
Offense,
winning record, but they're on the middle of the slide and
yeah.
facing the bottom. So I took the Colts across, but I did take the under. I think it might be
Oh,
like
you
a
took the under?
28.
Okay.
I think it could be
And
like a 28 to 12, 13 games, something like that.
yeah, and you're probably right. I'm taking a chance on the over, thinking it could be 28 to, you know, 14 or something. Well, even
Yeah.
that, I'm probably going to kick myself in the ass later. So,
Yeah.
Denver, Detroit, it's 4.5 points. It's in Detroit. The Lions are favored. It's a 48-point over under. I took Detroit to win the game, Denver to cover, and I took the under. Um, I think Denver's got too good a defense. I mean, even if they don't win, it could be, 28-15, 28-14, 28-17. I think 48 might be a high number. So I took the under. But I did take Detroit to win the game and Denver to cover the
Yeah, I
40.
took Detroit also to win. I did take the Broncos to cover, but I did take the over, which that's a coin flip for that. I could
Yeah, I
go
think
either
you're
way.
right. It could be close. It could be close as far as the over under is concerned. And it could be a close game because Denver's offense has woken up a little bit. But um, we'll see. Detroit's been having problems lately, and Goff's been turning the ball over a little bit. So
Mhm.
he's
Yeah, way
reverted
too
back a little
much.
bit.
Yep.
That is your Saturday games. Sunday, 1 o'clock early games. You got Kansas City at New England. It is an 8 point. Uh, I'm surprised it's only, well, no, I'm not really. But Chiefs are favored by 8, and it is a 37-point over under. I took the Chiefs and the over.
And I did the same.
Okay. No sense even wasting a lot of time with that. Chiefs need to win.
Yep.
Um,
New England on the offensive to keep
yeah.
up.
The only thing that
You
could be
know,
a question to me is the over under.
yeah, real quick on last week's game where Tony was lined up all
Oh,
sides.
yes.
It was
Yeah.
no doubt. But
Yeah, there
and
wasn't doubt.
you could be upset all you want, but a lot of your receivers, if you notice, they'll look over to the ref and give them a thumbs
Yep.
up if they're onside or not. And
Yep.
Tony didn't do that.
Tony didn't do
And you know
that.
what, you were it's
I'm a Chiefs fan, but in all honesty, I'm yelling at the TV before the snap of the ball. You could see it. Even before
hmm
the play, you could see it. And it was too obvious. I'm like, back up, back up, back up. And as soon as they said there's a flag, I went, I knew it was coming back.
Yeah,
I
and it
know
was a nice play. It was a
it was a
great play.
great play.
But
Travis Kelsey made a outstanding heads up mental play and then threw it all the way across the field wearing a glove with a wet hand and a wet ball and put it right on target. And Tony, let's face it, he waltzed in. Did him being offside have anything to do with the play? No. But you know what? The rule is the rule. And it was really offside. It wasn't like just a half an inch or a couple inches. He was like a good half yard offside. It was
yeah, I
too
mean
much.
the officiating's been bad this year, more than
Yeah,
more
yeah.
than normal. But to
But
go
that
off
one's
on them
one.
like that, that's absolutely insane.
Yep, yep. That's a problem. So I'm with you on that one. And like I said, I'm a Chiefs fan, but it is what it is. The worst cliche I hate in the world now. It is what it is. But
Yeah.
in this case, it's apropos. He was
Yeah,
off.
and the sportsman, yeah, and the sportsmanship. When he went over to Josh Allen, I mean, he said a good game, but then he was like, "That was terrible." You know, you're
Yeah,
making excuses, taking
yeah,
away from what Josh Allen did. You know.
right. Yep. Though I will say later in his press conference, when he said about the refs affecting the game at the end, and he goes, and that doesn't mean we would have won the game. He goes, because you don't know what Josh could have done when he got the ball, but now the refs have decided the game. So he did kind of throw a nod to Josh Allen later, saying, they still could have won it because Josh Allen played friggin' great.
Yeah.
Hey, Buffalo deserved that win. Let's face it, even with that play, if it counted, it was going to be a fluke play. It
Hmm.
wasn't going to be because the Chiefs manhandled them or were busy or better. It was going to be because of a really one good fluke play that would have won the game if they'd won it. So to me, Buffalo beat them on the field,
Hmm.
and they deserved it. And Tony made the mistake. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of people point out if you ever look at the picture again, you'll see one of the tackles, he'd gotten called twice for it already. Jawan Howard, number 74 for the Chiefs, didn't line up on the line of scrimmage anyway. So it would have been
Hmm.
an illegal formation. And they could have called that. They didn't, but they might have if they didn't call the other one. You don't know. But he'd already been called twice for that because he lines up behind the line of scrimmage
Hmm.
and not up on the line like he's supposed to. The only way he can line up where he did was if he's declared an eligible receiver.
Hmm.
Then you're allowed to be that far back. Other than that, no. He's a lineman and he needs to get up on the line. So they need to have a talk with him because he's been doing that off and on all season. That could have cost him too. Um, so really on two fronts, one penalty that was called and the other one that really wasn't, the Chiefs were wrong.
Hmm.
So as much as good game, was a great game to watch. Shame it did come down to that, but it did. And that's the way it
Hmm.
was. So Kansas City's got to win this game with New England. You're exactly right, though. It was a penalty and it should have been called. So, Cleveland, Chicago, Bears are playing a lot better lately. And who
Hmm.
knew that Cleveland would find an NFL star in Joe Flacco?
Yeah.
Quarterback has dusted himself off and looks like a Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl winning quarterback. Uh,
Hmm.
Cleveland is picked by 3. It's in the dog pound in Cleveland. The over under is 38.5.
Yeah. This should be an entertaining game. Cleveland's doing better than I thought. You know, losing Nick Chubb and losing Watson, their quarterback,
Right?
and but their defense has stepped up tremendously.
Yeah.
Um, I got Cleveland winning here, given the 3, and I'm going to take the under because the Bears defense is playing well too. So we'll take the under.
Okay. Gotcha. Atlanta, Carolina. In
Who you
Carolina.
got? Wait a minute, who you
Oh,
taking?
I'm sorry. Oh, I took Cleveland in the under as well. I did the same as you.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Atlanta, Carolina. Atlanta's favored by 3, 33.5. Um, over under. And Carolina makes the word terrible not seem strong enough. So I am going to go with Atlanta by more than the 3. Even though it's a very low over under, I'm going to take the over, but I realize, believe it or not, that is a risk. That is just, I'm risking it there, but I'll take a shot.
Yeah,
I think it could
yeah.
be,
I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking the Falcons across the board and
yeah.
the over.
If it gets to
Um, the,
24-10,
the
then maybe
The Falcons might score that much alone. So,
yeah. Um, so all right, we'll go through that.
but I think the Panthers made a big mistake not picking Stroud.
Yeah, oh yeah, I think you're right. Young doesn't look like but then again, we don't know, the personnel around him may not be very good. New York, Miami, that's the Jets, by the way. In Miami, 37 is the over under. Miami's picked by 9.5, but we don't know about Tyreek Hill yet. If he plays, he will probably be limited, but he is questionable with that ankle, and there is a chance that he won't play. Though his wife will send him a text to tell him get off his butt and get in there. That was funny. He's
Yeah.
like, I guess he texted her from the sideline. I said, boy, this is really painful. This really hurts. And she sent him a text that you need to get in there and play. I'm like, you know what that is? You hear about players making a business decision. That's her making a business decision.
Yeah.
He's
Good
like,
for her.
get your ass in there. There's probably incentives on the line that could get her a new car or something. You got to play so many snaps. Get in there. And he did for a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, he did get back in.
He
I
did
mean,
get back. I made a couple nice
Mi-
catches, but then he had to come out. So
Miami would be smart to sit him because they got to worry about the playoffs. And,
yeah.
so
Uh,
I'm betting. I'm going
okay.
to bet on him sitting, but I still think they shouldn't have a problem with the Jets.
I took Miami to win the game. I took the Jets to cover only because it's 9.5 points. And if Tyreek doesn't play, it could be a lot closer game. Um, but at 37, I took the over. With
Yeah,
him.
I took the over, so
Yeah.
that's it. I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Jets defense is pretty good, but
Yeah. All right. I'm going to pause the recording for a minute here, Bill. We got to take care of something. And then, but it's only going to be a pause. So don't go anywhere. It should take me like 2 minutes. And I guess we'll find out if pause actually works, pal. I've never had to use it. So we'll give it a shot. We will be right back. This is From the Cheap Seats, my pal Billy Smith, and we're going through NFL week number 15 picks. We'll be right back. Hey guys, we're back. Sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulty, but we were able to take care of it. It only took about 3 minutes, I guess. Before we keep going, I just do want to remind you guys that From the Cheap Seats, as well as every other public John media program, is brought to you by my pal Dennison Graldi and the crew down at Vineland Realty Corporation in Vineland, New Jersey. They are located 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland. Beautiful Landis Avenue they've been upscaling it and getting improvements out there. And last time I was there, it really looked great. And it's up and coming, that whole area. The number for Vineland Realty Corporation, the phone number is 856-690-9482. Dennis and his crew will help you with any type of real estate need you have, whether it's business, residential, whether you want to rent, whether you want to buy, whether you want to lease something out. And like we said, business or residential. And if Dennis and those folks can't help you, they have resources that they can find somebody that will. So that's Vineland Realty Corporation, 856-690-9482. We thank Dennis and the crew for helping us out. Go see his girl Friday. Tell them you heard about them from us at the Cheap Seats here, from the Cheap Seats, which Bill and I are sitting in. I wish I'd brought a seat cushion to the Cheap Seats. They don't supply them.
it might get you a cup of coffee. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, Dennis has always got some coffee on, and you could always buzz into to us on Facebook. I guess it's not really showing it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
You can get yourself and order yourself a Public John mug or T-shirt or whatever you want to do here, or from the Cheap Seats T-shirt. Bill and I have them. We just don't always wear them because we wear sports stuff. Kansas State hat on. Bill is supporting the Kate Smith Less Flyers, who did win last night, I believe, right?
Yeah, they're playing really good.
Yeah, they're playing good hockey. But I'm still mad at them. So, but let's get back to our picks here. We've got a few more left before we sign off for tonight, and you guys enjoy your weekends and the NFL weekend. We are going to Green Bay, beautiful Green Bay, Wisconsin, where the Tampa Bay Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go and visit Green Bay, the Packers, who are picked by 3.5 over the Bucks, and over under is 42.5. I went with Green Bay and the over.
I took Green Bay and the over. But you know what? I think I'm going to take point. I think it might be a field goal game, an extra half
But
point,
Tampa to
maybe.
cover.
Maybe cover, yeah.
Tampa Bay to cover, Green Bay to win. All right, and that's pretty close to what I did. I think the only reason I took Green Bay to cover is of gut feeling. And when you got a gut as big as mine, you don't ignore that feeling, baby, because if you ignore that, it could hurt.
Yeah.
It could be
You hear the
painful.
rumbling, baby.
Yeah, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling right above the stomach level there. It's not good. That's not good. We go to New Orleans next, where the area where you were kind of returning from, Bill, and you probably got a little bit of a bird's eye view to watch some New Orleans stuff. New Orleans picked by 6.5. They host the Tommy DeVito salami chopping cutlet, Tommy Cutlet, New York Giants. The over under is 39 and just 39. I'm sorry. Both teams playing good defense right now.
Yeah.
Both
They,
teams playing bad offense right now. I mean, Tommy
too
Cutler's
bad.
doing
I
enough
guess.
to win them games, but
Yeah. I mean, the Saints are just they're decimated with injury. That's what's hurting
yeah,
them.
that's what's killing
And if
them.
they're without Olave this week, that could be real bad problems for
Yeah,
them.
and he's
But
questionable again, right?
they get Hill back, um, which I think. I mean, he's a great player to have, but I just think it interferes with the way Carr plays.
Yeah.
You, you can't get in a rhythm.
I was just gonna say you can't get a rhythm going really, and
I mean,
I
as of
mean, if
now, I got the
anything, if anything, I would have Hill in there almost like a running back kind of a thing, a hybrid, but always have Carr as your quarterback. I mean, yeah, maybe run a wildcat once in a while, like a lot of teams do. But I think you're right. I think they use him too much of a percentage. And sometimes it takes away from that quarterback to receiver and quarterback to offense rhythm, who's really the boss in the huddle, that kind of thing. So
right, right.
I agree.
But right now I got the Saints winning. But I'll take the six. I'll take the 6.5 with the Giants, and I'm going to take the over.
Okay. All that being said, Bill thinks the Saints will win. This game, I'm picking with you right now as we go. I am going to Houston and Tennessee, by the way. It's in Tennessee and Nashville. Tennessee, I'm sorry, is picked by 3.
All right, my
And it
timeout.
is
Wait, who you picking? Who you picking with the Saints and Giants?
I'm sorry. I took the Giants across the board with the under.
Oh, you took
So
the
we're gonna have
Giants
a
across.
difference there, buddy.
Good.
I'm thinking Tommy Cutlet might but only because I think Olave is being questionable, and even if he plays, I don't think he's going to be 100%. So,
Okay. Fair
and
enough.
Tommy Cutlet's been on a roll, so
Mhm.
we'll take it. But I am taking the under. I think it could be a 2017 kind of game, which keeps it just barely under.
Yeah.
Houston and Tennessee. Tennessee picked by 3. The over-under is 37. I think it's because Stroud looks like he's going to be out. He has not yet completed concussion protocol for Houston. They'll go to Davis Mills at quarterback. Tennessee still does have that good defense, and they might be riding high after Will Levis's performance from Monday night.
Yeah, and they're also banged up on receiver, Houston.
Yeah,
Tank Delta.
yeah,
And
that's a big
Noah,
loss.
Noah Brown's questionable, so that's not good.
Yeah.
So I like Tennessee at home here. And, I'm going to take the under.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tennessee unless I hear Stroud's playing. If so, I'll get a hold of you and make the change because if Stroud plays, that's a huge difference to me.
Yeah.
And I would probably change maybe even across the board. As good as Levis looked, Tennessee was really lucky. I mean, they gave the ball away inside their own red zone twice, and
Twice.
and were able to hold them. I just, plus other mistakes too. I think they've got to tighten up a lot of things before they can be taken seriously. And I don't know if, you can do that with Houston if they have Stroud and can score some points.
Yep.
And Houston, let's face it, they're still playing for playoff lives.
Sure.
So,
Absolutely.
and you got to give credit to DeMarco Ryans. He has done a great job with that team in a 1-year turnaround. He's done terrific. So, but I'm going with Vrabel's Tennessee Titans for now. But if CJ Stroud plays, I'm going to change that probably completely. But I'll go with the over,
Okay.
and you're going with the under. So we've got that. San Francisco and Arizona. The Niners go to Arizona, which is still not far for them. I predict that there will be a big showing of San Francisco fans in Arizona Stadium, because Arizona's, as Bill Murray used to say in Caddyshack, or Chevy Chase used to say, they're not good, which is a heck of an understatement. Niners picked by 12, over under is 47.5. And I took the Niners across the board in the over. I think they're going to blow them out.
And
It may not be a Raiders 63-21 thing, but it's going to be a blowout, I think.
yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go with you.
With that being said,
Yes,
John, yeah, I'm with you. I got that. Yeah. The analysis was unanimous there. Washington and the Rams. It's a 6.5-point spread for the Rams to be favored. It's in LA. That doesn't normally mean a whole lot. The LA fan base are fickle with the Chargers and the Rams. The interesting part here is 50.5 is the over under.
Yeah.
It is huge. I am saying Rams, but I'm going to go with the under because I just don't know if Washington will contribute to the over under enough.
I don't know. Washington's a little pesky, I think I could see them scoring about at least 20 points. So I could see a 31-20 game. So I'll take the Rams across the board and the
But you'll take
over.
the over? Okay. Got it. Rams have looked pretty good though on offense lately. So Dallas and Buffalo. As of today, it actually changed during the day for some reason. I think the weather. It went from 2 points to 3 points. Buffalo being favored in Buffalo. Supposed to be about 44 degrees and rain all day in Buffalo Sunday. It is a late Sunday game, later afternoon game. As the Cowboys take on the Bills, and it's a 50.5 over under. I still took Dallas and the over.
This one I haven't picked yet.
Ah, that's all right. I just
It's
now,
gonna be it's gonna be the game of the week. I think this is gonna be
I
a
think you might be
fantastic
right.
game.
I think that's the game of the week,
I mean,
really.
it's a shame that the weather may play a part, but
Yeah.
I think I like Buffalo home, and you're taking the under in the game.
I took the over.
Oh, you took the over,
Yep.
and
Only because if it is
yeah,
rain, I think both teams will score some points.
yeah. I mean, you're talking only 26 points for each team, so yeah, I'm going to take the over. So,
Okay.
but I'm going to take Buffalo.
Well, you're going to take Buffalo. Awesome. Well, I don't know if it is, but Sunday night football. Baltimore, the Ravens go to Jacksonville. The Ravens are picked by 3.5 and is a 42.5 over under. This is one of those where we've talked about your heart and your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see Jacksonville win for some reason. I like Doug Peterson. I like Trevor Lawrence and what he's doing there. I like ET. I like their makeup and how much they've improved the last couple of years. But my wallet says you got to go with Baltimore. It just does. It just seems like they're more well-rounded. I think Baltimore's defense, though not the famed Baltimore defense of old, I think it's still better than Jacksonville's defense. And that's kind of why I think Baltimore will win. They'll cover barely, but I'm thinking 4 or 5 points they'll cover. Could be 35-31, 35-28, something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm taking Baltimore in the over.
Okay. And Lawrence is still banged up, even though he's
Yeah,
going to
he's playing
play.
banged
Still,
up.
he's not as mobile.
Yeah.
They are missing their one wide receiver.
Jones,
Can't
is
think
it
of the name I had.
Zay Jones?
No, I had him on my fantasy.
Oh, I can't remember. I want to say I know who you're talking about, but Ridley?
Uh, no, it's not Ridley. It's the one that played opposite of Ridley. But
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
know
to do
who
the
you're
same
talking about
thing.
though.
I'm going to take Baltimore. I like Baltimore here,
Yeah,
and
especially if Trevor isn't out there able to elude the pass rush, then
mhm,
with Baltimore's it's coming.
yeah,
So,
and I'm going to take the over also.
all right.
So we're the same.
All right, here's Baltimore and the over. All right. And last but not least, and I will be picking this game as we talk about it. I'm fighting the wallet versus heart thing too on this one. The Eagles go to Seattle. The Eagles are picked by 3 against Seattle and the 12th man, and it is a 48.5 point over under. I don't know what the weather's going to be like in Seattle. I'm, I'm
Yeah, I'm
thinking
not sure
one
either.
joke I tell, it's like 300 other days in Seattle. It's probably going to be 68 degrees and rain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the status of Geno Smith. He was out last game. The Eagles, they're not as good as their record shows that they are. I don't know what the problem is with them, but I'm going to take the Eagles here because they have to get back on the winning track, and I think it's going to be a close game. The over/under is real tough. Um,
Yeah,
I think I'm going to take the under the
that's what
48
I
and a half.
just took. I took the Eagles across the board in the under.
All
I
right.
don't see the Eagles lighting it up on offense. I see them winning
Yeah.
the game, doing enough to win, especially if Geno's out or is hobbled even. Um, but yeah, I see the Eagles winning a 24-20 game, something
Mhm.
like that. So, all right, and you're
Yeah.
taking the under as well on that one?
Taking down their growth. Yeah.
Okay. So there we go. We'll look at the differences real fast. Cincinnati or Minnesota were the same. Indy, Pittsburgh, I took the over 42.5. Bill took the under. Um, we both took Detroit to win the game. Bill took Detroit to beat the spread as well, 4.5. I did not. I think Denver will cover. Bill also took the over. I took the under of 48. We both took KC over New England and the covering to go over 37 points. We both took Cleveland in the under of 38.5 over the Bears, which was a 3-point spread. Atlanta, Carolina, we both took Atlanta 33.5 to go over that and win by more than 3. Just because Carolina it's a shame. Nice state, crappy team. Jets, Miami. Bill took Miami across the board in the over of 37. But since Miami's favored by 9.5, I think that's high. Plus, we don't know about Tyreek Hill, who's Miami's big threat to me. So I took Miami to win the game, but the Jets to cover the 9.5. We both took over 37. Green Bay, Tampa Bay. Bill took Tampa Bay to cover the 3.5-point spread. I took Green Bay. We both took the over 42.5. I took Green Bay across the board. Bill took New Orleans to beat the Giants, but the Giants to cover the 6-point spread. I took the Giants across the board. Bill took over 39 points. I took under on that game. CJ Stroud being out affected both of our decisions, I think. Bill took under the 37. I took over the 37 on the over under. We both took Tennessee. If, like I said, though, if Stroud is able to play and clears concussion protocol, I may contact Bill and change that. San Francisco over Arizona by 12. We both think, yep, that's going to happen. 47.5 is the over under. We're like, yep, over. That's going to happen. I think it's a rout. Sit back and, as T.O. would say when he was with the Niners, grab your popcorn. Washington and the Rams. 6.5-point spread in LA, 50.5 points, the over under. I think it'll be under 50.5. Bill still thinks it'll go over. We both picked the Rams. Buffalo and Dallas. Bill took Buffalo across the board in the over 50.5, and the spread is 3 points. I took Dallas to cover more than 3 and still took the over as well, as Bill did. Baltimore, Jacksonville, Sunday Night Football. Baltimore, Jacksonville. Difference is none. And we both went over, and it's 3.5. We both think Baltimore will cover. Philly and Seattle, we both think Philly will get back on the winning track. They're picked by 3. We think they'll cover, and we both think that there will be an under of the 48.5-point spread.
Hey, just getting back to the Denver game. I took Detroit, but took Denver to cover at 4.5.
All right, I apologize. I don't know why I have Detroit
Do the
written
same.
here.
Did
I
you?
will change it right
Did,
now to
okay.
Denver to cover. Okay.
But you took
I
Detroit
took
across the board.
and I took Detroit and Denver to cover.
Oh, you took Detroit and Denver too. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
we
I
both
took the same. Now the only difference is I took an under, you took an over of 48.
correct. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So there we go. I made that correction. All right. Other sports news, of course, if you haven't heard, and I may have mentioned it the other day, that Shohei Ohtani signed a $700 million contract for 10
Whew.
years. Most of it is deferred, however. So he's probably only going to get 10 million a year for now until after he's done playing. And that is so the team can be competitive. So they went out, made a trade, and signed a pitcher, and or not signed him, traded for him with Toronto, I believe, and they've already signed him to a 4-year extension. So they think he's going to be pretty good to win. They said his name. He's young, good arm, great record already. Was one of the stars of the rotation, and now he's going to be a Dodger for at least 4 years, maybe 5. I think it's an extension on the existing year that he already has. So, Max Scherzer is going to have surgery on his back. He is going to be out for approximately half the season for Texas. That came out today. There's been a few minor trades there was one major trade, and I don't know if you heard about this one. Juan Soto to the Yankees for a few guys. One is a starting pitcher that they think San Diego needed pitching. So they got like 4 players. Another player
They
went with
depleted.
Soto.
The Yankees depleted their
Yeah.
farm system.
Yeah, they have. So especially with pitching. So they've got in this trade, I think out of 4, maybe 5 players, they got 3 pitchers, of which one they think will be able to start right away. So it could be something that helps down the road. Or and the Padres got some other pitchers back. Yankees got bullpen and long relief and Soto. Padres got starting pitching, which they need desperately, especially if they don't sign Blake Snell, who's still out there as a free agent. So, um, so they're the big deals, Soto and then Otani going to their new respective teams. What's this mean for, of course, Anaheim? Who knows? You still have Mike Trout. You still have Anthony Rendon. Um, and it frees up some money, with Otani not signing with you. So who knows what the Angels can do with that? I think the Angels need pitching and they need Rendon to stay healthy. If he's not healthy, then you need another bat
Mhm.
to play in his spot. But he hasn't been healthy since he got there for a full season. So they got to wait and see what they do. The Giants signed a Korean all-star pitcher. They think he's going to be good. I think his last name is Sung, and they think he's going to be really good. A lot of people do. The Giants did sign him. The Giants have been missing out on people like crazy the last couple of years. They tried to get Soto. They tried to get they tried to get Otani, and they say that the deal matched the Dodgers. Just Otani took the Dodgers deal because I think he likes the LA area from being with the Angels.
Right.
Um, so the Giants have been missing out on people like crazy. They tried when Trey Turner was up, they tried to get him. They think they're in the hunt for Cody Bellinger, but who knows? The Cubs are still in that market, and there's been scuttlebutt that the Phillies are actually looking at
Mhm.
looking at Bellinger. Reese Hoskins is a free agent from Philly. A lot of people think the Giants may offer him a 1-year deal to prove that he's healthy. And then, he may sign that and then prove he's healthy and go from there. But with Harper saying he's going to play first base, what do you
Yeah.
need? Hoskins wouldn't really have a role. So,
Mhm.
it's a shame you can't sign him and trade him maybe, but with the injury, he's got to prove himself, so prove his worth. But you get his salary off the books, I guess. So we'll wait and see if Philly does anything with that. So you got a few interesting things. The Red Sox, we're looking at some people. They've filled a couple voids. You know who's been active on the free agent market a little bit is Kansas City. They've signed a couple people. Whit Merrifield is out there. A lot of people think the Red Sox may sign him, but they have signed a couple. I don't want to say high profile. I mean, not like Juan Soto or Shohei Ohtani, but a couple of really good people. Today they signed Hunter Renfroe to
Yep.
strengthen up their offense. So they're getting pieces, it looks like. Now, my whole theory is I have a conspiracy theory about teams anyway. When they're on the verge of getting a new stadium, they or improving their old one to the point of where it's really a good stadium. Uh, they want to be competitive because they want more TV money, more people to watch them, and more attendance and show that they have an exciting product. They have to help support that new venue. The Royals are looking at staying in Kansas City, but a different location for the stadium. And it looks like it's either going to be built or it's going to come to pass. So I think they're trying to build that team up again within the next couple of years to get it back to where it was in 2015, I believe it was when they won everything. So my conspiracy brain is kicking in that they're going to try and improve their team dramatically for a few years. Do the old uh, now it's Miami, but the old Florida Marlins trick. You go out,
Mhm.
you win the thing, then you just have a fire sale. And then
You're
6
right.
or 7 years later, you make another effort, whenever you can. You need money to spruce things up, or you need more interest in your team, and they're the perfect example. But you never know. But Kansas City does have a budget and money to spend, but they do kind of the Tampa Bay thing usually and keep it low key.
Yeah, they keep it low key. Same with Baltimore now, and Baltimore's got a really good team, and they still won't spend money to help.
Yeah, yeah, they're one or two players away from going. You know what I mean? Like really
Mhm.
taking over. And now that the Yankees in their division have Soto and a couple other people, and you still have Stanton, though there's been rumblings that they might try to dump him, but nobody's going to take him in his salary. You still have Aaron
Right.
Judge. Um, you still have LeMahieu, who's a steady player. I don't think he's the hitter they thought he would be when he went to New York, because he was a lot better before then. But yeah, you still have some pieces. You still have Garrett Cole. So, and who knows if the pitcher they got from San Diego is going to help them in the bull in the rotation or not. So,
Right.
I think Yankees have an offense, but yeah, now that Baltimore's got to fight that. Toronto's still good, or is going to get good. They just missed out on Ohtani. They were the ones everybody
Mhm.
thought he may go to, but I don't think that was ever going to happen. I
No,
just
I
didn't.
didn't think that.
I just didn't see it. And baseball's probably happy he's going to the Dodgers. It's still the big
Hmm.
market, bigger market than he was. Feel good story for baseball.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but you're right. Baltimore's in a tough division to begin with. Um, so yeah, they need a player or two to me just to keep up. I mean, the Yankees finished
Mhm.
awful last year, but they're making moves like crazy now. And Juan Soto,
Yep.
he's going to have a right field porch, being a left-hand hitter, that if he gets jammed, it's a home run. It's
Yeah.
because he's so strong anyway. I mean,
Mhm.
it's I don't want to say it's a joke, but that we've played on shorter or longer softball fields before.
Yeah, longer
We
softball
have.
field.
We've played on longer softball fields with fences longer than that 301 down the right field line at Yankee Stadium. So, and the same with in Boston, just with that one small area of Pesky's Pole. Same thing, very short fence, and even left field's a short fence. It's just it's so high with the
Yeah.
monster. But the same thing, a lot of parks have one area where they purposely it's a smaller field, the way it was built. So, and that's what you do
Hmm.
is you go out and get your players to be able to
Yeah.
adapt to that or
After
that
that.
fit with that. So, uh, NBA, Draymond Green is on an indefinite suspension for
What a frickin' thug.
what a
He is a
hey,
piece of crap.
I am surprised unless they cut the indefinite suspension below 10 games. But if they keep it at least 10 games or more, if he doesn't get the message then, which he probably won't because he's never gotten it. Last suspension was 5 games and it's unpaid. So he obviously doesn't care. To
I
me,
think he's done. I think he's done.
yeah,
I don't think they're gonna.
yeah. I mean, he
They
may
may
get to
not bring
finish
him
out the
back.
season if he ever comes back from his indefinite suspension, but it wouldn't. But he's got a contract that I think has 3 more years on it, so he may try to hang around. But at
Yeah,
some
but
point,
if they,
he's going to
but
go
if the
too
league,
far, and the
but
league is going to
yeah,
say you're permanently banned because he's a
yeah.
thug.
So I mean, yeah,
He might have, except he would have got the crap beat out of him. He might have fit in the bad boy days of Detroit when those teams were all
yeah,
beating each other up physically.
yeah.
Uh, if he'd have went against Detroit, Rick Mahorn and Lambeer would have just busted him up.
Plus,
And
yeah,
even
no
Boston,
doubt.
McHale and Parrish would have busted him up. He wouldn't have lasted. Um, but now, to me, he's nothing. It's a shame because he is when he's playing well, he's a great defensive player and a great rebounder. But Charles Barkley made a great point the other day. He goes, these things happen with players and escalate when they see their skills starting to fade. And he said, and it happened with him. Barkley said, when I was with Houston my last 2 years, I knew I couldn't do the things I used to be able to do. So then I would get physical and I would do some things. He goes, it was
Mhm.
my way of hanging on. He goes, and when I look at Draymond and I look at his skill set, I kind of see that. And I see that that might be happening with him. And I think that's why his bad physical behavior has escalated. And I was like, that's kind of a good point if you think about it, coming from a guy who's been there. So,
Yeah.
it could be that he's right. And which would tend to your point, he may be close to done, even as a productive player, even if he is able to come back. But if he does that, his temperament, he's going to do something else. Uh,
Oh yeah, there's no. It's just a matter of when.
I think it's
That's
a
all.
clock that's running. I think you're right.
Yeah.
So, um, other than that, the NBA tournament, I think the tournament part was okay, but I agree with Barkley and a couple other people are like, the Lakers are going to hang up a banner for this tournament. Kobe Bryant, the great Laker, who I did like Kobe Bryant, um, said when he was alive, obviously, because he didn't say it when he was dead. Duh. That was a smart, I'm so intelligent sometimes. But he said nothing should hang up there but championship banners. Because somebody wanted to hang up a Western Conference banner or something for the team. And he's like, no. He goes, I'm against it. And they didn't do it because he was a star at the time and whatever. He like Michael Jordan with the Bulls. If he said no, then it was no. But Kobe's like, no, I'm not going to celebrate that. We didn't win the title. Nothing should hang up there except championship banners. And now they're going to hang this thing up. And a lot of people think it's LeBron's ego. He can now say he's the first person to ever be the MVP and was on the team that won the very first NBA. Wilt can't say that. Jordan can't say that. Kobe can't say that. Shut the frig up. Now, who
Yeah.
cares? All right. Win your
LeBron's
game.
another one. LeBron's another piece of shit. When
That's what I'm saying.
he went to his
LeBron.
son's game,
Yeah.
he went to his son's game and sat during the national anthem.
Yeah. See why? What's up with that?
Yeah.
Show some respect, you know. And if it wasn't for what this country could bring, you wouldn't even have a
Yeah.
dollar. You wouldn't make the money you're making playing a sport, playing entertainment.
Mhm.
And I love sports. We've both said this before. I'm just tired of look at the money that's out there for
Yep.
athletes. They're not overpaid. You're right. So it's frustrating sometimes. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
yeah. But then that would lead me into a Kate Smith rant again, and I don't want to. I
Yeah.
don't want to
I agree.
go there where corporate America screws over a legend. Oh, did I say it again? So, but that being said, Bill, uh,
Yeah.
unless you have something else, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Enjoy the games, everybody. Anything you can
Yeah. No.
you
No.
need to add?
I
No.
think we're good. Oh, the MSL
Oh, yes,
Cup was won by Columbus. They beat LAFC 2-1.
LAFC, right? Yeah,
No,
I
sorry,
saw that.
3-1. Yeah, 2-1, I think it was. But yeah, they end up
Good game.
Columbus. I think that was their third title. Their third title.
Wow,
So
wow. Well, Philly needs to kick it in because I do
well, they need to
casually
spend some
look at
money
that.
on good players. I mean, they're Philly is known for promoting their homegrowns, which is fine and dandy, but you're not
Sometimes
going to
you
be able
gotta,
to compete with Miami and
yeah,
LAFC
you
when
gotta
they're
write the
bringing in
check. Yep.
Europeans. Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah, they're the better players. Got to admit
yeah.
it. They grew up with it. They didn't grow up with the
Mhm.
NFL and Major League Baseball. They grew up with football. To
Yeah.
them, it's football, and in a way, it makes more sense because it is football. You play the game with your feet. They're
Yeah,
like, "Why do you
exactly.
call this football? You never hardly ever kick it." You got a good point. Uh, but I agree. You got to write the check in today's day and age. If you want to maybe win a title, you're going to have to write a check for a European player or two. So,
Yeah, no doubt.
yeah. So,
But that's
all
all I
right.
got.
All that being said, buddy, I think that's about it. Enjoy the games this week, everybody. We hope you guys are as successful as our numbers have shown. We've already shown that you'll win some money if you listen to us. So, if you do, you win some money, don't be afraid to let us know and buy us a dinner or a lunch sometime.
There you go. That
Or
sounds
send
good.
us a check. I'll take a check. That's that's the kind of guy I am. So.
There you go.
So for Dennis and Graldy and the folks over at Vineland Realty Corporation, 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, my pal Billy Smith, all the folks here at Public John Media. I do want to send a shout out to some friends in Manhattan at Stormontvale Cardiology Center. Thank you folks for taking good care of me. Hopefully this thing will be off this time next week and I'll be allowed to reach for stuff. But thank you folks. And over there, they were great to me. And they're outstanding professionals. And appreciate that. Bill, you know how that's went with heart stuff and everything, and you went through all that.
Absolutely. It's nice to have that care, and
it really is. It
wherever
makes a difference when you have people that actually show genuine concern while they're helping you out. So we want to thank them. I want to thank them. I'm sure Bill extends his to his folks that are still taking care of him. To everybody else, we will talk to you guys next week for our Christmas extravaganza. NFL picks week 16 next week. For Billy Smith, Dennis and Graldy, his girl Friday, Helen at Vineland Realty Corporation, all the folks here at Public John Media, we want to say thank you for tuning in. We will talk to you next week. Enjoy the games, everybody.